Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Show here. Now then, let us open up on a scene. There is loud music playing, and Deku and Mei are messing around in the lab. This is their final days for internships, and well, they were able to get one thing made and finished. Hearing about what happened with Bakugo and Ida, he's at least glad they're okay. But finding out that the whole guy that gave him this information was right, that was still hard to believe. No. Deku, he's trying to get Mei's attention as Mei just keeps messing with something on her wrist. She has 2 bands, and she just keeps tinkering with them. Deku's trying to get her attention as Mei would walk across the room and turn around, finally actually looking at him. Deku would just wave his hands outwards, trying to get her attention, as the music would stop. Mei would just say that, sorry about that. Well, anyways, what are you trying to say? Well, I'm just asking exactly what are you doing? Oh, well, I had an idea for the suit I have. The big one? Well, I mean, yeah, in theory. It's a bit more weird, but it wouldn't be that hard. Exactly what are you talking about? Well, you see the gauntlet on the table? Yeah, what about it? As she would immediately just hold out her hand. As the jets pop out of it and immediately fly straight towards Mei. As it immediately lands on her arm and she immediately just throws it backwards. Actually almost falling over in the process, saying that, oof, gotta work on that. Wait, did you just... Yup. Okay, now I have to see this. As Mei would just tell Jarvis to activate the procedure. And, well, target the areas she told him to. As different pieces of metal and the suit she's created start flying towards her as nanobots cover her body, showing off that she found a way to use the suit. And if she needs to, Jarvis can plot a course towards her with the tech. That, however, is a bit more tricky. Now, doing this for the Hulkbuster will be easier, so, well, it would be simpler. Well, Deku's found a way to redesign the cockpit to where he can stand up in it instead of sitting down. Now, the investors would be surprised at this type of tech and would at least consider them an option and talk with the company that has been helping Deku, as that company getting good money for research and development would finally get the chance to get off the ground, since barely scraping by and, well, focusing on certain projects was all they could do for now. With that being said, let us cut it back over to everyone else and them at school. They are all talking. Everyone is just saying that this has been a bit tricky, while Ida and Bakugo are talking. As soon as Ida sees Deku, he would immediately run up to him and apologize for what he did, also beginning to say that he's thankful that BT was at least able to get this information, and, well, protect him from doing anything reckless. To which Deku would just say that that's not a problem. Besides, it should all work out. No. With that being said, this is whenever Mei, she would just say that it was a bit tricky, yeah, but BT had it handled. Well, got it handled. So no need to worry. Now then, I do want to say that this is where we'll be going into not the final exams, but the forest training arc. Everyone is talking as they're on the bus. Todoroki would finally bring up one detail. Exactly what does Deku do with his quirk? Because he only ever uses the Titan. To which Deku would explain that he can control any form of technology, probably even the bus, but using it for his Titan and, well, certain parts of tech making, it's somewhat easy. Along with that, the nanites in my system, as he would immediately just cover his mouth, realizing what he just said. Wait, nanites? Yeah, well, um, after my spine got injured, I kinda needed the help. As Aizawa would turn around, saying, "You have nanites in your system?" Well, yes, Mr. Aizawa, but it's just... a hero with a broken back can't really perform well, do you understand? To which Aizawa would just say, kind of makes sense. It is wasting time just sitting around. But, well, at least knowing about these would have been a bit better. Now, this is where everyone would hop off of the bus, as they are taking in the view. Deku would just be a bit confused. He can hear something, he's not sure what it is though. It sounds like a that's strange. As he asks BT exactly what's going on. Sir, I do believe the nanites in your system are having a bit of side effects. Side effects? Well, they are increasing and actually helping your physical body. You are able to perceive time a little bit faster than others now. Also, you are able to regenerate, or have a healing factor, albeit not very large. That was whenever you fill your body with 10% nanites, however. I do believe the nanites in your system are slowly climbing, replicating on their own along with you using your quirk. So, what exactly does that mean? Well, I do believe they are going off of their own programming. So, I have an AI in my system, or in my bloodstream? Well, alrighty, sorry about that, guys. I had to do something, so I had to stop recording for about 40 minutes. Now, well, no, sir. It seems like... I'm not sure the best way to put this. Your quirk and your biology, along with your nanites, they seem to be resonating with each other. Resonating? Well, yes, sir, that's the best way I can describe it. It seems like, well, you're getting more and more advanced. Possibly even evolving. Evolve? BT, run a system diag. As soon as Deku says that word, this is whenever the landslide would occur, and everyone would fall into the forest. Now then, as soon as that happens, this is whenever Deku, he would have turned his head, seeing exactly what's going on. Now, before Deku can even think of what to do, she would have called her armor, as it would have come bursting out of the compartment of the bus, and immediately cover her arms, as she would have used that to somewhat balance herself out. While Deku, he's able to at least look down and see the ground, being able to do a flip and actually get his feet underneath him, as he would have landed, hitting and actually being able to somewhat get his balance, as he would stand up. This is whenever Aizawa would just say that that's actually quite impressive. But, well, Midoriya, no using your titans for this exercise. You will only be limited to those pieces of armor. Now then, everyone has 2 hours. Begin. As Aizawa will walk away, and everyone will get ready. Bakugo charging up, 30% of one for all. As Deku is trying to think about this more. I want to say 2 hours to possibly about 1 hour and 45 minutes later, they would arrive at camp. Now then, they would arrive tired and exhausted, as people are staring at them. Now, Deku, he would have just asked BT to exactly, please continue what you were trying to tell me. As BT would continue. Deku's quirk basically means that his body might be artificially producing nanites. Possibly because the nanites he's already had may have attached themselves to white blood cells and begin to replicate, somewhat creating a mix and/or piece. Another possibility is because whenever he was injured and did need blood, his dad did offer his own. So the blood transfusion from your father's quirk may be messing around with some of your internal structuring. Meaning that his dad's artificial nanites and the ones in his system already are mixing, creating a newer one that is based on Deku's own biology. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would understand this, as they would get to get raw material and create food. The next day, they would all begin training, as Deku's basic training is calling in all of his titans and trying to use them against each other. Well, May is told that her quirk, Zoom, she may not use it, but, well, the technology and everything else, she's going to at least have to use Zoom for it. Now, Deku, he would just be ready, as whenever he does call in his titans, everyone is intrigued, seeing that he also has a new one and what seems to be a chassis and/or experimental one. Anytime Deku can take a break, he does try working as fast as possible. He's been able to somewhat give blueprints and designs for people in the tech lab. Since a lot of them are curious about his own technology, he does let them mess around with the internal components of his own stuff. However, he does let them have a limit. Basically, if they can do him this favor, he can provide them certain blueprints and/or help them on their own projects, which he would do cutting into his sleep schedule, sending them back probably at around 1 to 2 in the morning and waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning for training. So, the regular lifestyle that he's used to. Now, with that being said, he would have gotten parts of these configured, as whenever he does finally try out the new chassis and/or piloting bay, he puts on the helmet and finds that everything is actually a bit different. May somewhat had the right idea. Even then, he can hold onto the controls and actually use them. Linking up with BT in this way actually does provide a better access and feel for mobility, as he is actually able to do one thing. He's able to somewhat stretch BT's arms and actually move them backwards more than he could, giving himself a bit more mobility, and he would have tried doing a flip, failing in the process, but thinking he could. Now then, that would have been his downfall. He would just have the mechs there, as he does use them whenever he is told, along with him actually messing around and using a bunch of different computers they have for the training. So not only is he controlling his own mech, he's using Technopath on searching and looking around for different blueprints online. So he's actually doing quite a bit of training now. Baku, on the other hand, he's doing what he does in canon, but he is also... Alright, sorry about that, guys. I just got interrupted. Anyways. Bakugo is doing the regular training he does in canon, and he is also in charge and or just trying to lift up different pieces of trees. Basically doing a better form of training than what Tiger has provided. Along with sparring with Tiger. Now, with that being said, everyone has been improving, along with Deku actually explaining to Aizawa that he can make them better support items. As Aizawa would have somewhat believed him and or let him not do this, saying that he can wait till they're back at UA to get that problem sorted out. So, when that happens, he's allowed to do so. Along with Deku trying to mess with his phase shift drive. The thing that accidentally took him to Decay's dimension in the first place, and brought Deku Pool to him, as he's trying to get it back to what he had it at, asking BT for Stage 1 blueprints, to which he would have provided. Realizing what he did, and or his mistake, he would see a different way to keep himself stable in that dimension more than just 2 minutes. Actually making it to where he has to keep a link, basically a landline, so he can at least stay in there for 5 minutes if he wanted to. But he has to immediately shift back, otherwise he could lose contact with his home dimension. So that's where he needs to stay at. Now then, with that happening, Deku also is improving upon more and more of his tech, as he improves upon Stim, the ability with his nanites, and other things. Now, the Forest Training Arc attack. This goes a bit differently than in canon, with everyone immediately getting ready. They would have... The villains would attack as Deku. He would see smoke coming from the forest. He would just say that he's pretty sure that kid was there, so this is whenever him and everyone else separate. May taking off into the sky, trying to help Deku look for Koda. As this would happen, Deku would be ready, as he gets to Koda's secret hiding place, and actually does meet up with him. Opening the piloting bay, he would just say that it's not safe here. Villains are attacking. You need to hop in and we can go. Koda would be a bit intrigued, but to say that he's not going anywhere. As the villain muscular would appear. Now, Koda, he would be scared, and Deku would just tell him that he needs to run, as BT faces off against Muscular. Deku would just eject from the cockpit and jump out, as he brings his hands up and actually does have his eyes glow, as Muscular just starts laughing at him. He begins to rush Deku as Ion immediately jumps forward. Ion gets ready, and he actually does throw a punch directly at Muscular, as Muscular is countering and actually having a bit of trouble. Muscular is using his quirk as he is trying to Now then, this is whenever North Star, he would come flying in as Muscular didn't expect this. North Star smashing directly up Muscular's back as he gets up. Legion also landing onto the battlefield. As Legion does one thing, turning around and immediately just tossing 2 weapons to the other mechs, as Deku tells BT to not use lethal force. Those guns are experimental. They have neurotoxins and different things in them, so be careful. You have parameters and, signatures on all the students, correct? Yes, I do, pilot. Now, I will uphold the mission, along with Parameter 3. Okay, good. As Deku gets ready. He's just waiting for one simple thing. Where is he? Where is he? As he presses down on his computer, immediately just getting a signal through. As one simple sound can be heard. A shockwave. As another mech would appear. It would smash onto the ground and reveal the mech. I do not have it here. Hang on. The Hulkbuster Mark II. Now, May has been able to fix a lot of difficulties and problems with this one. However, she probably knows he called it in, so things are a bit more serious. Now, with that being said, May, she is flying around, as she is able to actually help out everyone with the business they are attending to. She's able to help out Momo, and, well, no, wait, not Momo. I believe it was... It was Kendo and Tetsu against that guy. She's able to help them out against that, well, the guy with the, what was it, mustard gas quirk? And she was actually able to help Tokoyami with his whole edgelord drama. Because whenever she realized that she needed it, she actually did call in the 40k armor and the first version of the Hulkbuster. Albeit, it did not want to work for a minute, which confused her. She tried to deploy version 2, but version 1 came instead. Oh, that's not good. As she would look up into the air and see that it's dropping right now. As the Hulkbuster Mark I is dropping out of the air. She would just start flying up to it as the warframe smashes into the ground, destroying quite a number of trees. She would just immediately ask if they need a bit of a helping hand, and or would like to assist them. Kendo would just say that she'll just try helping out everyone else over here. Alright, well, your loss. As she would order Jarvis to take over. Jarvis would take over the Warframe armor and immediately begin following her, as they begin making their way through the forest. This is whenever they would have encountered Tokoyami and taken him out by blasting him with the energy beams, finding a good way to use these as an attack and a propulsion system, so it works as a double. Now, with that being said, they also were working on trying to find everyone else, as whenever they do find Momo, she is trying to run away with this guy from Class 1B. May would have immediately just grabbed the Nomu and smashed it to the ground, as before she can strike it down, this is whenever Momo would just say that she has a plan. Just, listen, hear me out, wait, who's that? As she turns around, seeing the Warframe armor. This is whenever it would just say, "Hello, Miss Yagirozu, I am Jarvis." Okay. Who's Jarvis? Just a very smart intelligence system. Okay, well, I created him and he's like BT. Okay, well, listen, if we can put a tracker on this thing, then we can follow it back and find out where everyone is. That's actually a good plan. You know what, Yagirozu? Do it. As Momo would do it. Now, this is where she would just ask May if she needs a bit of help. Besides, she's been meaning to ask and actually talk to them about what they do. Also, she thinks that she can help them. As Momo would just say this is whenever the Warhammer armor would open up. And Momo looks confused. May would just say that she's giving her a chance. Help us out and I can show you exactly what we do with our designs. I can even show you some old ones. Okay. As Momo hops up into the armor, and these two immediately make their way over to Deku. Meanwhile, over with Deku, Ion, Legion, and Tone they are fighting with Muscular, as they have been messing around and actually trying to keep him distracted. Ion is taking heavy damage, however, and the gas grenades and nervous system stuff doesn't seem to be working, because Muscular is now covering his face and nose with muscle fibers. Every now and then, whenever he does jump away or throw around enough force, he does take a very deep breath. So he is at least smart enough to know that he does not need to breathe that in. Besides, Deku, he would have hopped into North Star as he tries to fight and actually mess around with him, as the Mark II Hulkbuster is trying to help out. It is able to actually grab and restrain one of Muscular's arms, as it tries to smash into him over and over again with its giant piston. Muscular, he would have just been taking the hit, as he would have finally grabbed the piston, trying to hold it backwards until he actually does push it to the side and just let go of it, as it begins to smash into the ground. Taking the chance, he would have immediately stabbed his arm upwards and tried ripping out this, blinking light, thinking that it was important. As soon as he does so, this is whenever he would see that this armor is empty. That's annoying. Now, Deku with North Star, he would immediately begin just by firing as much of this stuff into Muscular as possible. This pulse rifle doesn't really seem to be working, so he needs to switch it up, as he would have jumped out of the armor and immediately begin making his way to Legion. Now, Muscular, he would have saw this as he begins to run straight for Deku. As that happens, Deku would just jump into the driver's seat and immediately begin by putting his arms into the pieces he needs to control Legion. As soon as he does so, he immediately smashes his arm downwards, socking Muscular in the side of the head, as Muscular got pissed off and aimed for Legion's head, thinking Deku was right there. So, that is whenever Deku, he would just move his head downwards as Muscular smashes this thing down, tearing it open. Deku just brings his head back up, and it is actually somewhat poking out. Redesigning this took a lot and made it somewhat a bit more anatomically correct, since he's closer to the arms now and closer to the head. Now, with this happening, the pilot being exposed, BT would authorize lethal force, which is whenever Deku would try and override BT, which doesn't seem to be working. Deku would begin using his quirk as he begins to fight BT on this. Do not authorize lethal force. That is a direct order. While Deku's eyes are glowing, Muscular would be staring at this, as Deku does try doing one thing. He tries to activate phase shift technology as Muscular smashes into the mech. Whenever this happened, Deku, he actually did try bringing up Legion's arm, but as soon as that happens, Muscular would have jabbed straight into the weapon system. That delivers the plasma blades, as a loud and heavy beam would have sparked outwards, hitting Deku across the eye, as Deku would have looked away. The wound immediately cauterized, but it is still there, and Deku knows it, as he would use phase shift to get away from Muscular. As soon as that happens, Deku has BT use stealth, as he immediately drops into the cockpit and tries to wrap his head up, and get the wound tended to. While that's happening, he hears a loud commotion outside. He hears what can be best described as the end of the world, as he hears a loud scream and things are being torn apart, as he would poke his head out. He would just come upwards as he sees that everything is on fire, everything is being destroyed around him. Something's going on with Muscular, and there's a lot of, orange and red fire and flames. Not even that, there's what seems to be an army of people, and a guy in a mask? Wait, who's that? As he can see one simple thing. What can be best described as a giant behemoth made of muscle, facing off against an army. As this is where Deku just staring. He would see the man turn his face, as he just sees himself, once again, asking BT to keep a note on this one. He seems to be the strongest, as he watches this version of himself just smash his arms outwards and throw around more force than All Might. This is the strongest version of himself he's ever seen. And that is saying something. What the hell is wrong with his timeline? The attack is so... Wait, is this what the attack is supposed to be like? No. As Deku begins to freak out. He gets as calm as BT would give him a warning to shift back. As he does so, he would shift back and see that Bakugo has arrived. He has found Koda, and Mei has arrived too, with the other mechs. She's asking exactly where is version 2, as she would see it somewhat just lying on the ground with a hole in the chest cavity. As she just thinks, okay, never mind. As Muscular would come charging in. This is whenever Ion would immediately go to grab Muscular's arms and try and restrain him, as Mei authorizes the use of the shock weaponry, going straight for Muscular. This fight would be dragged out until eventually Aizawa would step in, and their mechs are heavily damaged. Aizawa stepping in would give Deku the opening to actually smash Muscular and take him out, as they would have taken down most of their enemies. However, they are missing somebody. They are missing Tokoyami, and I believe Icy Hot. However, this is the problem. They need to find a way to get these two back. But, well, they need to work fast. So, Deku would just tell Ion and everyone else to split up, as you would see one thing. This is where Mr. Compress would make himself known. As he does so, Mei is doing one thing. She has her armor in somewhat of a stealth mode, as she slips out of the back of the Hulkbuster, and begins to somewhat fly away with her systems on low as possible. She would be doing so actually hiding in the forest as she gets her armor to go off of her for a minute, sticking onto the chassis, saying that she needs a bit of help. The nanites she has in her system are good, so she's going to try and attack Mr. Compress. Whenever she does, she needs the armor to, well, knock him out and or take him down. Or, well, she needs the armor to do that and she can finish the rest. To which the armor would do so. Mr. Compress would turn to leave as the armor would immediately smash into his chest, breaking a few of his ribs as it begins to fly him into the wall. She would immediately tell Deku, well, now, as he would connect with the Hulkbuster and immediately swing his arm forward, smashing it into the wall. Or as rocks begin to fall, Mr. Compress would be covered in this pile. Now then, that is where we're going to be leaving this part off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.